Hey everybody, sorry we're a little bit late. We're just trying to get people signed in properly. Give me a 1 if you can hear me, 2 if you can see the Serp text screen, 3 if you cannot. Awesome. Okay, there's Jeremiah. Jeremiah, I'm just going to mute you. And then Jeremiah signing on, Natalie is signing on, hopefully. And then she'll be able to do some presentations for you. Natalie's got some stuff. Yeah, Nat, you're signed. I see you there, but you're not signed in with your organizer email. You're signed in with the other one. So you're going to have to sign back out. And I'll get you your login, your proper link for an organizer right now. Let's go to over here. Okay. Sorry, Nat. So, Nat, I'm going to send you your link in the Skype group, okay, so that you can sign in. Okay, Nat, here you go. This is log out and log back in on the link that I'm giving you for copy link for an organizer so that you can present. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find that damn group. There you go, Nat. Sign in on that one, please. Okay, guys. So we took a couple weeks off just because obviously Todd and I had to go shift our focus to V3 because we're getting close to the public launch of that. So I had to make sure the internal, we were releasing it to Supremacy members. So that has come and gone. So we're back now to regularly scheduled webinars. I updated today the webinars page. Sorry for not updating that as well. So your November webinar schedule is now posted, okay? The one that we're on obviously is this one right here. And then of course I did update all the October replays you can access down here. Let me just make sure that that's right. Yeah, there we go, October. So those are right. And then I've also, guys, I've added a new menu item, which I got to figure out why it shows for a second and then it goes blank, and I'm not sure why it does that. It's a little handshake icon, but if you click on that, you're going to see that there's a new area now, and it's called your coaches. So over the last little while, Nat and Jeremiah have been huge contributors to our group. They're both doing a lot of really great things, building really successful businesses using Serp Tech, and just been really, really helpful to our members. So they are now going to be coming on as full-time coaches for Serp Tech because they both bring something different, something unique to the table that they can help you. Jeremiah is a great builder. He has a lot of unique building strategies. I've been chatting with him. He's doing stuff, even he's getting into stuff like retargeting with Facebook pixels and stuff like that. He's got a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'll let him tell you what he'll share with you and what he won't. And then Natalie obviously is great at the sales aspect. I mean, they're both great at the sales aspect. Jeremiah sells a lot of shit too. You can see his posts in the group. He just closed a huge deal that he posted in the group right here. You can see the $9,000 sales proof thread where he got a check written for $9,000. So they're both great at sales. Nat is another good sales coach. So they're now going to be on webinars teaching you guys a lot about what they do and helping you guys, because they both started where you started, and that's they had to come in, learn Serp Tech. Nat especially had to learn WordPress even. So she had even more reason to fail than most people, where she didn't even understand how to use WordPress, but now she's building and helping sell Serp Tech sites. So that's a really, really cool thing. The other thing that we're going to offer soon on these pages, guys, so you'll be able to click either of their heads. I know Jeremiah wants me to change. He wants me to change this image, and I will when he sends me a new one. These pages are blank right now, guys, but what we are going to start offering very, very soon is the ability for you guys to book one-on-one personal coaching time with either Natalie or Jeremiah. They're both going to make themselves available to you guys to do private one-on-one coaching, because I know sometimes the you know, the webinars and stuff, you're not getting the, you know, all your questions answered or whatever. There's obviously a whole bunch of people on the group, and we're all answering a bunch of questions, so we can sometimes skip over certain questions that don't get answered. So that's going to become available to you guys pretty soon. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll have the ability for you guys to schedule one-on-one coaching calls with Natalie and Jeremiah. Now, it's not going to be free, obviously. They're obviously busy people, spending a lot of time building their businesses, but they are going to carve out some time for anyone that does want that personalized help. So those services, guys, are going to be offered at $297 per hour, and you'll be able to book those hopefully within the next, I want to say 2 weeks. I'm just playing with a bunch of different booking softwares where we'll be able to handle the bookings right from within the website. Nat, you're here again, but you signed in under the same link, so you're not an organizer. Here, tell you what I'll do. Hang on. I think I can make you an organizer from here. Natalie Dixon. Okay. Oops. Sorry guys, 1 sec. I'm just gonna get Natalie on here. There we go. Oh, pop. All right, Natalie, now you're an organizer. So, yeah, not $2.97, James. It'll be $297, as in $297. Good one though. That's the new stuff for me, guys, is that we're back onto regularly scheduled webinars. Hopefully, Jeremiah and Natalie, everybody give them a big welcome as new coaches into Serp Tech. They've done an incredible job on their own, so they absolutely deserve and are qualified to come in and teach you guys about everything that's going on with Serp Tech. We will be adding the one-on-one coaching with them very soon, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, and there's a new section in the website for you guys to be able to access that. So right now the pages are blank, but over time they will be filled out so that you'll be able to book appointments. And then I have given both Jeremiah and Natalie control of their own page, so that if they want to post their own stuff on that page, they'll be able to do that. So that's another area inside of Serp Tech that you guys are going to be able to visit and just get unique information from both Natalie and Jeremiah. I will also add a comment section onto their pages, so they'll be able to come in and comment on their own page. So that's all coming in the next couple of weeks. So Todd isn't here quite yet. I'm not sure where he's at, but we're running anyways, and he'll hop on when he can. But let me just do a quick microphone check. Jason, can I get a mic check on you before we get started?
Yep, I'm here. How you doing, guys? You okay?
Everybody here, Jason, all right? Yeah, I did remember to start the recording. Yeah, Todd always reminds me, and I need that reminder. All right, thanks, Jason. Natalie, can you unmute yourself and let's hear if we can hear you properly?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, good. Okay, we can hear Natalie. And then, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Jeremiah, one last mic check for you, please.
I'm here.
All right, everybody hears everybody. Everybody hears everybody. Okay, cool. So the way we're gonna start, guys, Natalie is gonna go first. She's gonna just go, and we're gonna let Natalie loose on you guys. We're not guiding her, telling her what she has to or cannot teach. We're just gonna give her free reign. Same with Jeremiah. He's free to teach you guys whatever he wishes to. So we'll start with Natalie. Then I believe Jason has a few things he wants to mention, and then we'll go to Jeremiah from there, and then we'll just go into a Q&A. So. Natalie, if you are ready, get back on here.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm ready, I think.
Do you need the screen?
I'm just trying to figure out how to share my screen at some stage.
Okay, I have to give it to you, so if I'll give it to you now. Make sure all your porn's closed before I hand it over.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, there you go, Nat.
Okay. All right, guys. My name's Natalie, and you've probably seen me in the group, making some comments and trying to help where I can. And literally, that's it for me. I don't know if you can see my screen at the moment, so, give us a 1 if you can. Let me know if you can't. So I just wanted to be really clear about a couple of things. One of them is this idea that keywords that have low search volume have no kind of value. So I just wanted, and I'm kind of giving the game away here for my company, but hey, if you want to go out there and get me leads, then frick, by all means, just go for it. So one of the things I wanted to show was I stopped in my business. I started this business a while back, 2014, and my sales are 1.8 million. In that time, around June last year is when I built my first Serp site, and I really struggled with it. Like, oh my God, I had never built a WordPress site before. I had tried, I had failed, and I was just like, screw this. So in about June last year, I realized that my Google AdWords bill was just getting ridiculous, and it's probably because of, excuse me if I screw this up a little, it's probably because of my site is rubbish. I built my site back in, I don't know, 2011 or something. No, it was earlier. And I was pregnant with my daughter and was really just sounding things out. This is my Google AdWords account. So I spent 27,599,000 clicks, just over 500,000. Ooh, didn't realize that. My cost per click on average was 86p, but I can tell you that right about here, it went way, way higher. And I kind of got a bit hacked off. And see this bit here? This is when I started with SerpTech. So when I started with SerpTech, I killed my ads, and I couldn't have done a better thing. So before you kind of tune out, what I'm saying is when people say that they're not getting traffic to their sites and that that traffic is not worthy, it bloody well is, So here's my sales. This program has a nasty habit of kicking me out after 10 minutes. So I started in June, and it was pretty horrendous. By July, 17,500. By August, 40,000 in a sale. Now, August is a dead month after that for us. Everyone goes on holidays, and pretty much the building industry closes down. So, yeah, bugger all. 17,000, and today I just built another 11,269. And so I wanted to speak about business models, really. My business model is basically, I'm kind of an affiliate for a supplier. I would say the market has gotten a lot more saturated recently, like within the last sort of 5 to 6 years. But I work on about a 70% markup. So I was just going to show you this, and it was just because I was speaking to someone yesterday, last night in fact, who was really sweet, and he was sort of going, oh, my clients only want to rank for this one page, and that's it, and it's one keyword. And I was like, how is that ever going to work? So I can show you that, from the sales that I've just built, it was 10,269, 1,000 in transport, The cost of goods is 5527, and this is pounds, by the way, so it's probably around 9,000 US dollars. My gross profit is 50,000. Sorry, I wish 5,700 odds. And I just wanted to show that because when I go back to my keyword research that I built this on, obviously this is seed keywords, don't take that into account, but all of this other stuff, these are pretty low searches, and this was my first build, and I kind of haven't stuffed around with it yet or since. I've pretty much just, yeah, I probably didn't follow the training brilliantly. I built the keyword list, and I followed everything, and I struggled with WordPress, and I hated it, and I wanted to throw the computer out. But these keyword searches are pretty damn low, you must agree. But even though they're low, they have brought me all of that business that I was just showing you. You know, it's like 90,369 quids worth of business, and I work on a 70% markup. So I just wanted to explain sort of where I'm coming from. You know, since I started this company online, that's what I have brought in, all through not knowing a bloody thing. It's like everything I touch takes training, like, and it drives me mad sometimes, but quite often I really love it, because when you see those successes, you go, I did that, that's mine, I did that, nobody else did it, you know. And also I should probably say, when I started this business, it's in construction. I deal with heavy tech drawings. I had no clue when I started, not a clue, how to read tech drawings, how to do this, how to do that. So when I started, I began by, what happened was I was pregnant. The guys that I'd started with, that I'd sort of worked with this was about in 2006, I think it was, they just screwed up a couple of jobs. I knew I did what they call bottom drawing. I knew that they were going under. I knew that they cocked up a lot of jobs. They said that I was basically their secretary, and I had no clue. I just went, yeah, okay. I took on a huge job in Corfu. I had not a clue how to do it. And my partner at the time just went, outsource it. And I was like, oh my God. So I outsourced it. And that is my point, you know. You don't have to be a master at everything to understand that how the business works. I am not a great techie person, by no means, but bloody hell, did I build a business that has bugger all overheads, like next to no overheads. My overheads are my computer and everything else I charge out. But I make 70% on that, you know. And so I wanted to speak about business design. Like, has anyone got a question for me? You know, I'd love to hear it about how you design your business. Like, what is your desired outcome? So I don't think I can see the chat. Oh, yes, I can. Oh my God, I'm so rubbish at this.
It takes a bit.
It certainly does. Yeah, I learned WordPress in 6 months. But yeah, so it took a while to get my head around this stuff, but I'm just going, guys, you know, since 2014, I've turned over 1.8 million, you know, 70% of that is profit. I am by no means sitting here and just going, oh yeah, I'm rich, but I'll tell you what it has given me. I've just now started to homeschool my daughter, which I would have thought I'd rather stick a needle in my eye, but it's working amazingly, and she's learning business as well with me, and I wanted to express how important it is to just go on the learning curve. But when you're on the learning curve, make sure that you're asking the right questions, you know. So in the Facebook group, you know, and we've all seen loads of people and we all like to help and dig in. But, you know, Bob Perot's fantastic spreadsheet is amazing. And if you're not using it, because I'm using it all the time, if you're not using it, you're really missing a trick here, because you might not be asking the right questions. So if I type in, I don't know, shout something out, backlinks, and it brings up all of the webinars that talk about backlinks. He's also made the program find all of the timings for it. This is a massive game changer. You know, I think he's amazing. I've known Bob for a long time. We met way back when I was doing Amazon products in 2013, when I had an accident, and I think he had not long started a long legal battle with an absolute, you know, his trial. But the fact is, if you're not using this as an initial idea of, oh, let's go back and check out the SEO reason why top of, you know, all of that stuff, then your questions in the group are kind of going to be wasted, because you could be digging down, you could go and look at this research and then come up with much, much better questions to get much better answers and more in depth. And that way we're able to help you more. Does that make sense? Anyone pitch in?
Now, I just want to make sure that you're seeing the question. Do you have two screens, by the way, when you're set up at home?
No, I don't, Dane. I can't see any of the questions.
If you open
hang
up the questions tab,
yeah, I've got that
you'll
open.
be able to. Yeah, and then you can organize where it says art, like received. It's REC''D. You can organize that up and down, and you'll see the questions that are coming in.
Oh wow! Okay, people are listening.
Oh yeah, everybody's listening and asking questions.
Oh.
So if there's any questions that you see there that you want to take and answer, there's lots of you can give lots more feedback there.
I'm getting lots of, okay, I can see one here. I'm not brilliant. Do you know what? I'm not a great techie person. It's like everything I touch takes learning, and it drives me mad sometimes. But most of the times I really love it, because we're so lucky. Can you imagine being stuck? And I've done it, and I know a lot of people here have done it, stuck in a telemarketer's booth, or in a booth in an office, and you don't get to learn every day. It could be so much worse. So the fact that I get to get frustrated and learn is, you know, brilliant. So what exactly is your business model? You generate leads and send those to local UK builder company and get paid on sales, or talk with the leads yourself, sell them materials, and then you need stuff from locals. Sounds like I've got competition there. Right, my business model is particular to me. I can say that I went in and out of different suppliers. I've been let down. I've been screwed up. It's just it's a model of resilience. Sorry. If you know, I'm in the construction niche. I don't think you could get into a bigger pond of frickin' sharks than the construction niche, you know, and especially when I started, you know, and I know it sounds sucky, but being a female, unbelievable. What a bunch of pricks you will meet in that niche. They will rip you off left, right, and center. But over time, you find really amazing people that really care, not just about the product, but about you, and will help you. And that's kind of the same in everything, you know, like there is so many people out there like Sherman Hu, Craig Riley. How many people have really helped me and suffered along with my numptiness? You know, reach out and make contact with people, because you can't be all things. It's just not possible. You know, you might be great at building, but you're crap at selling. You might be great at selling, but crap at building. You might be really brilliant at high-level business design. And high-level business design is kind of where it's at, you know. You need to really think about avoiding that time work deprecation. You know, you're not deprivation, I should say. You are not going to be able, if you scale and you're looking at scaling, how on earth are you going to scale if you're doing the building, the selling, the advertising your own business, which amazingly a lot of us forget about, you know? So make sure you reach out and make contact with people. And I can say that there was one person in the group, and he's probably on tonight, and oh my God, I'm not going to mention your name, but oh my God, there's a few people that I kind of reach out to help in any way I could, because I've been in that situation of I can't get WordPress to work. I don't know how it works. And I swear this guy rang me every single freaking day for at least an hour a day, and I was just going, oh my God, you're driving me crazy, but I really like you. And I stuck with it, and I stuck with it, and he has brought me the most amazing, life-changing opportunity for an affiliate, a sole agency online affiliate deal. And that's why I haven't been doing a lot of building lately, and I've been really, you know, hard-pressed to find time. Because that guy has actually brought me what I think should be worth, God, at least 20, 30K. I would say it's going to be a lot more than that. So, the other one, let down and screwed up. You should write country music. Yeah, if I played a country music record backwards, I'd have lost my dog, found a divorce, you name it. I love country music, by the way. So I don't have a lot more to say other than use Bob Perot's spreadsheet and do the control find, and find the information there first, because then when you need deeper level questions, when you want to go third level deep questions, it'll make a hell of a lot more sense. And the other thing I wanted to say was, you know, it's quite pathetic, but yeah, I could not build a site as of June last year. So June is where I started. Sales had flatlined, went up to there. I just built a site a little while ago, and I haven't done Serp tech on it, so this is a money site, and I am by no means the best SEO person. And I do have Spider Spanker on this site, if I can find it. Oh no, I might have closed it up. Oh yeah, here it is. So I've built this site for a client who just came across. They do a lot of work for children with AIDS in Rwanda and around that area and the Congo. And they've got a travel and tourism business, and they do a lot of stuff for, you know, like working as a volunteer or homestays within the village. And I just want to say, from nothing to this, making sure there's no bots on there and stuff, I think it's not too bad. So over to you guys. Unless I've missed any questions, then definitely do point them out.
I want to go back to what Eric asked, where he asked, I'm going to read his question again, Natalie. What exactly is your business model? Do you generate leads and send those to a local company and get paid on sales? So, like, I guess he's asking,
okay.
You're generating leads, but are you getting paid on the business that they're getting from your leads?
Totally. Okay, so the business model that I have is that all the leads come to me and I have complete control. So all of the info comes to me, and I remember this when my mum was in business. I remember she left a supplier's name on a box, and a competitor next door to her shop found the box and copied her suppliers and took all of their info. Now, I've been working with these people for over 10 years, and they are really ethical. But if they're not ethical, it's like my business model is the leads come to me, I keep complete control, and I farm it out to them, and I make sure that they know nothing about the client. So I get paid my markup. I know just because we've been working together for so long, and I've been through a good 10 or 15 suppliers before then, you know, that screwed me up. That I know that their markup to me is 10% on the cost of the goods to me. So they say. Seems about right to me.
So can I just interject for a second here? So you're still in control of like fulfilling the order and whatnot, right? Because you don't give them any control of the lead, so you're fulfilling the order and just like you're kind of middlemaning, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally. So I basically, what the process of it is that the lead comes in usually by email, rarely by phone. People send me the drawings. I go through the drawings. I've learned to spec the drawings. I send that across to my supplier. They give me a cost. I quote the client. The client comes back to me with a yay or nay. There's very little. I don't negotiate anymore. I used to kind of go, oh my God, I really need this sale. Now I'm just like, if you're negotiating with me too hard, you're probably going to be a pain in the ass, and you don't have the money to pay for the goods, you know. I also am really, oh my God, I've been stung so many times. I would have been stung in the last, I don't know, from 3 years ago, I probably would have lost £50,000 at least in being screwed over by big companies. So I tend to stay away from the major developers and massive companies because they have such a brilliant way of not paying and screwing you over. So when I go to small and medium sort of developers or designers or builders, everything's upfront. You know, like it's 50% on deposit, and it's 50% 2 weeks from delivery. If that money's not on my account, that stuff is not getting delivered. My biggest problem is if they do default, I can't really resell that stuff because it's bespoke. But if you're looking at going into a niche like this, that is the only way to go ahead, because I'll tell you right now, the people that are going to dump you and screw you over are the ones that are the nicest. They're the ones that are just like, oh my God, I love you, it's brilliant, you're so amazing. And you just think, oh, what a lovely guy, you know, that's great. And that is the one that'll kick on you. The ones that are very businesslike are usually okay with it. And if you're strong with it, if you're weak on your payment terms, they'll suss it. It's like an animal sniffing instinct. If you're weak on your payment terms, people will find that weakness. Or if you're weak on a product sort of issue or something else, it's like they sniff it and you attract the questions that are going to harm you. So all I can say about that is when you've got a product and if you're following this business model, be so strong. You know, just know it inside out and don't let anything damage your integrity of product. So yeah, that's my business model. So hope you have fun, guys.
Yeah,
and,
let me just comment a few things on that, guys. So that's kind of a different model completely than anything we've ever taught before, but it obviously seems to work with Nat. And the thing I like about it is she's in complete okay, she's taking a lot of risk on to start with, right? She's putting herself in the middle of the supplier and the buyer. She's handling the finances, she's fulfilling the orders and stuff like that. But for that risk, what she gets is she gets a huge margin, she gets a huge cut, and she has complete control of the Serp Tech build that she has. She has complete control of the lead. She has complete control of the markup that she's putting on the product. So she's putting herself into a position to really be able to win big. And she has, obviously, as you can see from the presentation she has. So if you guys want to kind of follow that model, the way to do it would be kind of like search out the niches, where people are making big bulk orders for construction goods, and there's tons of them. Trust me, there's tons of areas and tons of places where lots of construction's going on, and you're going to just handle that shit yourselves. Now, not everybody's going to be built for that model, okay, because it is going to take a lot of work and organization and risk and stuff like that, but there is, as Natalie's showing you guys, a huge payoff for that model. So do you guys kind of understand what's going on there? Give me a one if you get that model. Okay.
And the other thing is, it's it's about niche selection. I mean, my risk is really low in terms of before that order is placed, I have 50%. It's a bespoke product, so before it gets delivered, I have the 100%. I am not waiting for it to get on site, and I think that works also in everything that you do, whether it's selling websites or whether it's selling local marketing. It's like, if you don't charge people, they will not value it. And there's loads of people that have fallen into that, and I've fallen into it so many times. It's like, your enthusiasm to help, in my case, sometimes, it comes back to bite you because they don't understand how top level this is. Not everyone has this. I recently dealt with a company. It was a stone worktops company, and they were saying they were getting no leads from their website and there was nothing happening. And we looked at their website. It's like, it's so shit. You are not going to get found for anything. But the guys are busy. It's a seasonal business leading up to Christmas. It's, building is huge. We want to get in before Christmas. It's kind of amazing that their website, that they spent, I'm not shitting you, £1,500 was literally like a 5-page WordPress site with no optimization, nothing. And you're just going, oh my God, if I were you, I'd call and get the money back, because that's a lot of money to spend. And I hear that all the time. And by all means, I wouldn't say that England is the best market. Like, it's a tough market here. They're pretty canny. They're tight on money. Costs are high. But just keep that in mind, that whatever niche you go for, you have to understand what their profit margin is. And if I can just close really quickly on a call I had last night with another Serp member who was lovely, and he said, I've got this site and I've done everything right, but there's no traffic going to the site. And I was like, okay, what is the niche and stuff? And I can't share it. But the niche was devised by the client. So not only were they doing, let's say, tiling, but they were saying they only want to rank for a specific type of tile and a specific area. And I'm like, well, that's not going to bring anything, because nobody's going to know the brand name, let alone the brand name plus the area. So you've got to be a little bit clever, with my keyword research for this page. just shared something I shouldn't have there. My keyword research for this page, these are not big sort of traffic. It's just not. I think you'll all agree, 2,500. Once you put a location in front of that, that is going to just plummet. But
Yeah,
the
I want to say
difference,
a point on that too, Nat, because I'm sure most people right now are looking at those numbers and being like, "Are you kidding me? 2,500, 5,500, anything over 100, they're like salivating at and thinking, "Oh my God, that's huge keyword volume." But guys, one thing that you might be missing is Nat saying these are the seed keywords, meaning
mm,
what you know the big thing she wants to rank for. As soon as you add a geolocation modifier to that keyword, that search volume is going to plummet. So she's doing it a little bit different than what you guys have seen, and that's a really, really important note for you guys to take when you're looking at those keyword volumes and getting all excited, thinking Natalie says 2,400 is a low search volume. That's the seed keyword. Okay, that might be porcelain tile, but the keywords are like porcelain tile and then some location, which you've all experienced that. As soon as you add the geolocation, the search volume does drop. But you can rank for the seed keyword as well with the right SEO.
yeah, and also when you do that, the difference is if you've got something like, I don't know, home decorator, marble finished interior or something. I know what I'm thinking of, like, marble faux paint finishes, right? Which is a nice decorating niche. When you put faux paint finishes in, East London, those people are looking to buy. The people that are putting in faux finishes are looking for ideas on all sorts, or it could be, the keywords there are going to bring you traffic from all sorts of buyers. Once you put a location in front of it, that's a directional buyer who wants to take action mostly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's a good point too. The more specific the keyword research gets, and it's a correlation, the more specific it gets, the less volume it gets, but that's because there's less people in a buyer mind frame than there are people in a research mentality. So what she's saying is absolutely true. Someone that's just looking for the word porcelain tile, they're not really in a buyer mind frame, or they might be, but they're in a general research phase. Whereas if they're looking for a location, why are they looking for a location? Why are they typing in that specific location? It's because they need to go to that location to find those porcelain tiles.
Yeah, and that's my point. So, and it comes down to that keyword, that niche research about your business as well. And we're still struggling with it as well. We're still finding our feet in terms of sales. I'm working something on something at the moment. If it comes off, it'll be brilliant for all of us. If it doesn't, I just don't want to say anything until I've got solid figures. But there's lots of ways to take it to market. But I would say find the clients first. Freaking hell, they're everywhere, And yeah, and once again, Oren Klaff, How to Pitch Anything. He's really aggressive. But that idea about pitching the croc brain, which is if you try and pull someone into something, they're going to pull back like a dog on a lead. If you give them a scenario and put them in the scenario, then it's a different story, and they're already with you because they're in the scenario with you. So I know that's a little bit cryptic, but God, it really does work, So stop pulling people along and start saying, especially in like a seasonal business like mine, yeah, we've got tons of work and it's all brilliant. So yeah, I know, I've been there. So, leading up to Christmas, everyone wants to be in at Christmas, blah, blah, blah. Hit January, February, and you're flatlining. And wouldn't it be nice to get that extra 40% on your turnover over these flat times? So put them in the picture before you try and ask them to buy, is what I'd say.
One question I want to cover here, Sherman asked, do you attack your niche plus geo with multiple domains?
Yeah, I'm just starting to do that now. Literally, when I built that first site, and honestly, I did it so badly. Yeah, I am definitely doing that right now, and I've got everything lined up to sort of implement it. I would spread the net far and wide. So when I did that for my business, I took every county in the UK and London, and then put things in like, Northeast London, Southeast London. People search on postcodes here a lot, so NS, North, South, yeah, so I we've sold a few sites now, and in terms of traffic, I would definitely do multiple builds. I just got so busy with that one build, and I just ranked for counties, that now I'm kind of going back in and going, okay, I want everything within a location near to me, and I'm going to sort of do it again 2 or 3 times. And also, I did go through and find the highest. I supply EU-wide, so I did go in and find the highest value property areas within the UK. And when I build sites, I also name the products after those names. So if somebody wants to put in, I don't know, Amersham iron gates, that I have a product called the Amersham iron gate, you know? So hopefully I pick up a bit of traffic that way as well.
Okay, thanks, Nat. I do want to get Jeremiah on because I know he has movers coming.
Yep.
So
I'm done.
Jeremiah, if you want to unmute yourself, I can send you the screen and you can start presenting. Thank you, Nat, for that.
No worries. Anyone sending a question?
Hey, Herc. No need to send me the screen. I don't have any slides.
Okay.
Yeah. Just want to go over some information real quick, answer some questions. And yeah, I am sorry, guys. I do have to jump off here in about 30 minutes because I have movers coming. But yeah, I wanted to go over the $9,000 check that I just posted, the information on that, answer some of the questions that I got on the post. So just to recap one more time, the $9,000 was for 2 different Serp Tech sites, but they were sold to the same client. One site sold for $2,500, and the second site sold for $6,500. Now, the interesting thing about this sale was that I was initially asking the client for $500 a month per site. And I had been going back and forth with the client for about 6 months. Both the sites were quite old. And he kept pushing it off, and you know, he said he wasn't really interested, but I could tell because he would bring the sites up in every single one of our meetings. And so I knew he was interested, he just wasn't wanting to pay the $500 a month. So I decided to do a little test, and I told him, like, you know, hey, if you want these sites, what I'd be willing to do is sell the sites to you for $9,000. I'll sell you both sites for $9,000. It didn't take him more than 5 seconds to say, yep, that is, you know, something that I'm willing to do. Oh my God. Herc, can you take over real quick? I think my movers just showed up.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just kind of keep. Yeah, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Okay, let me just go see who's at the door. Hold on.
Okay. I know that Jeremiah and I had talked about this check, and one thing I want to mention, and he hasn't really said that yet, but when his client, you know, he was trying to sell these sites for $500 a month for his client, and the client was dragging his feet, and then when he finally offered the complete sale rather than the rental, the client took it. And if you guys divide 9,000 by 500, that's 18 months worth of rental fees. So the client paid him an 18-month upfront. You know, rather than saying taking the $500 a month, they just paid for the site, which is an 18-month period, which is actually pretty damn close to what most people, when you do site flipping and stuff like that, they say typically a year to 2 years of the value of the site in its profits. So Jeremiah landed that deal with an 18-month window based on what his selling price to the client was, which is awesome. Like, he gets rid of the site or whatever, and it goes over to the client, but Jeremiah basically got 18 months worth of revenue up front with this deal. So it's like a pretty rad way to do it. And I also know that he said, for some reason, I don't know why the client would think like this, but the client was more willing to just take control of the sites right now than get into a recurring billing situation.
I'm back.
Which is on okay, yeah, I'm just telling them what you told me about how this deal came with the client would rather pay the $9,000 and you got the 18 months worth of value. So Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, as soon as I offered that to him, he took it without even thinking. And his reasoning to me was he would much rather pay a large upfront sum than have to be tied down in a month-to-month contract. And his reason being was, well, I have the money now, but what if I don't have the money in 6 months? So if I can pay for everything when I know I have the available funds, that is what I'd be more interested in doing. So that's why he cut me the check. And I was finding that quite interesting because I'm like, this has been 6 months going. But he never asked. He never asked if he could pay for it up front. I had to offer it to him. And as soon as I did, he didn't even think twice about
and then yeah, like someone just made the comment to Sherman. He said, yeah, and then just hide the plugin, from the client, like so that they don't go in and do anything damaging to the site. So yeah, now that SerpTech has the function to hide the plugin when you sell the site, yeah, just go in and hide it, and then they'll never be able to damage the site. One of the things I want you to comment on, Jeremiah, I see a lot of people asking this, is how you would deal with the maintenance of the site during that period, or how do you look at anything like that?
Yeah, so this client, when we were going through our negotiations, I made it very clear that if he purchased the site, it was completely on him when it came to SEO and maintenance. He actually has his own web development department within his company. This is an enormously large company. And the issue is, he has his own web development department. He has his own SEO department with 15 people working in it, yet I've been able to produce more with SEO than his entire departments combined. So even though they couldn't do what I could do when it came to SEO, he knew that they could handle the maintenance and the upkeep. So that's why there was zero resistance from him. But the interesting thing that I am doing now with this specific approach, and something that I would advise you guys to do as well, is approach dead leads. So if you've approached a lead for month to month and they've turned it down, here is how I am now reapproaching these. I'll go to them and I'll say, hey, just want to let you know that I'm going to be doing something special for the year 2018. I know you were interested in the site, but you couldn't really do the month-to-month payments. So I was offering you the site, and this is an example here. I was offering you the site for $1,000 a month. However, what we're going to be doing for 2018 for our promo is if you sign the 12-month plan or the 12-month contract, we're actually going to cut it from $1,000 a month if you pay for the full year up front to $6,000 for the year. Now, so far, since I have closed this 9,000 sale, I approached 3 what I would call dead clients or dead leads, and all 3 of them immediately asked to set up a meeting because they were more interested in paying for the year up front. And when they do the math, I mean, you take $1,000 a month times 12, that's 12 grand. You offer it to them for $6,000 if they pay for the year up front. They know they're getting it for 50% off. And these were these specific prospects because I wanted to see how well it would work. So I approached prospects that shut me down right away. No, that's too much per month. We're not interested. We're not interested. Yet all 3 said, yep, I'm very interested in that. If we can do the year up front, let's set up a meeting for next week. They said, let's set up a meeting for next week. I didn't even get the chance to ask when would be a good time. So I would suggest if you have a list of leads or prospects that you've approached that didn't go anywhere because of the month-to-month, you had reached that stage of negotiations, reapproach them and offer them to do the full year up front at 50% off. And if you think about it, yes, you're cutting your profit margins by 50%, but let's say you have that site and you still don't sell it. You now have a negative asset. It's now a loss. Whereas if you can take that same site, which it's a SerpTech site, costs you what, maybe $10, throw it up plus maybe 100 or 2 in SEO, and flip that site for $6 grand, you're making thousands of percents in profit. And you can take that $6,000 and go build 50 more SerpTech sites. So I would take the shorter end loss to build a rapid income and start growing a lot faster, which is, like Natalie said, with outsourcing, that's something that I'm doing, is I'm taking the profits from these shorter end sales, outsourcing now, having somebody else, I taught somebody else how to build the Serp Tech sites, and they're going to be building it. Yet I'm paying for all of these sites out of 100% net profit on sites that I did not think I was going to be able to sell at all. And I ended up selling them for thousands of dollars. So I had another question about SEO. Perk, do you mind if I go into what I did for SEO on the sites real quick?
No, you keep going, man.
Okay. So both of these sites, my costs for SEO, they were higher than what they are now if I were to just completely replicate the process, because these were sites that I built when Serp Tech first came out. So I was still testing what works, what doesn't, so my costs were a lot higher. So I'm going to tell you what my costs were, but just know that now that I've tested and know what works, I'd say they'd be 50% of what these costs are. First things first is I use SSL certificates on all my sites. So I'm with the Supremacy hosting. That's what I have all my Serp Tech sites on. And I use the SSL certificate, and I've done a split test on this where I built 2 sites in the exact same niche with the exact same domain with small variants. All the sites are .pro, and the ones that I did not have an SSL certificate on, they didn't really rank that fast, and they didn't index that fast. They had great indexing and ranking compared to a normal site, but as soon as I put the SSL certificate on, I saw a dramatic difference in how quickly the site ranks and how high the site ranks, especially for more competitive keywords in larger cities. Serp Tech sites that I did not have SSL certificates on, they would rank maybe page 2 or page 3 for a main city competitive term. If I did a SSL certificate on that Serp Tech site, I would usually rank between number 5 and number 7 first page main city competitive keyword terms. So definitely use SSLs if you can. As for the scheduling, as soon as I launched the site week 1, I sent social signals to the homepage, social signals to the categories page, social signals to the capital city page. So for instance, I'm in Arizona, so that would be Phoenix, Arizona, would be our capital city. And then I would pick 3 cities at random, and I would send social signals to each of those. Now guys, the social signals that I'm getting, I'm buying on Conquer, they're $5. Sometimes there's sales on them where they're $2 or $3. So this is very, very cheap to do. That's week 1. Week 2 is I would send 2 to 3 PBN links, either using a URL or a random term, click here, more info, etc., to the homepage. So 2 to 3 of those to the homepage, and then I'd send 5 to 10 PBN links to the categories page. Let that sit for about a week. Those 5 to 10 PBN links, what I personally did on these sites was link 1, I did brand name. Link 2, naked URL. Link 3 is an LSI keyword. So let's say your niche is plumbers. Instead of saying plumber Phoenix, it would be emergency plumber Phoenix or 24-hour plumber Phoenix. The 4th URL, again, would be a naked URL. And then the 5th URL would be my main target keyword, plumber Phoenix. Week 3, I would let it sit. I wouldn't do anything at that point. The 4th week, I would pick my 3 main target cities and 2 random cities, and I would send 3 to 5 PBN links to each of those pages following that same process. So it would be brand name, naked, LSI, naked, target keyword. And then I would send 2 more links to the categories page. Now, these 2 links that I would send to the categories page, I would make niche specific, not city specific. So if we stick with plumbers, then the 2 PBN links that I'd be sending in week 4 to the categories page would be plumber info, emergency plumbers, something like that, but it would not have a city definer. And then week 5, I'd let it sit. Usually around week 6 at that point, I have just insane rankings. And typically, and I've tested this on about 13 sites now, if I follow this exact model, I'll usually end up with between 2 and 5 of the first page listings will be my Serp Tech site. So it'll be my main page, the main Serp Tech page, and then I'll usually have 4 or 5 additional tag pages that will end up ranking. And that I've now replicated over and over again. Now, as for my costs for all of this, for SEO Site 1, the $2,500 sale, my total SEO costs were $1,300. Now, again, I was doing a lot of testing. Okay, so I went back and I looked at what it would actually cost me if I were to just restart from scratch, and it would probably cost me about $600-700, depending on if there's a sale on links or anything like that. But about $600 or $700. So you take that and flip it for 25. Now the SEO cost for the site that I sold for $6,500, I spent $3,087 on. And going back and looking at the cost for what that would be now that I know what works, I would say it would probably be around $1,200 is what I spent, or what I would spend if I were to replicate this. But even at $3,000, I sold it for $6,500. I more than doubled my investment in that site, which, I mean, do not say Bitcoin, I swear to God. But name one other thing you can put $3,000 in and double your money in less than 6 months. Very hard to find. Serp Tech provides that option. And if I had known, how to use the SEO process I just explained to you, if I would have known that was the protocol that worked so well, I probably could have cut that time down to 3 months, and then add on top of it the new sales strategy that I'm using, which is just absolutely killing it right now. I could have sold that in 3 months instead of 6. So I've done a lot of testing and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from those mistakes, and that's what I'm trying to share with you guys now as to here's what I've done, here's what works, here's the lessons that I've learned from it, and here's the time you can save by implementing these suggestions. Now I also want to go over, because I've seen some questions about what I do, how have I tested, what have I tested. Things that I have found that have not worked SEO-wise on Serp Tech sites are Google entity stacking. That one I tested aggressively, and I did not see any difference at all using Google entity stacking. Tumblr links, I know that was being thrown around in a couple of the posts. I've also tested extensively with Tumblr links that are both high DA, PA, as well as having high TF and CF. I had one site that got a positive benefit, but it moved up like 2 rankings. So I think it went from number 8 to number 6, which, considering what I spent on those Tumblr links, not worth the investment. So I would stay away from Tumblr links. I know a lot of other SEO providers, if you go to Conquer or any of the other like Fiverr, they'll offer packages for high DA profile links. That I've also tested. I tested that on 8 different sites, and I noticed absolutely 0 improvement. So I would stay away from the quote-unquote high DA social profiles. What I have found that works consistently are the social links, and I prefer to do SynWire, and I'll do a mix between social and blog posts from SynWire. I've tested several of the people in Conquer who offer this. All of them range between $5 and $7 per blast, and I noticed immediate rank jumps. So usually within, I'd say, about 24 hours of getting the report back, I'll notice significant jumps in my number 1 rankings and my top 3 rankings. The third thing that I've done, and I've tested this now on 4 different sites, and it has worked extremely well, is I will create a YouTube video. What is the software that I use? Sorry guys, I bought it a while ago. Video Maker FX is the one that I have, and I just make a quick video, usually about 30 to 60 seconds long, and I'll put my description for the video as a quick paragraph. So I'll usually go to any of the pages that Serp Tech has built, or the posts, grab that first paragraph, and I'll paste it in the video URL description. Then I'll post a link to not the categories page, but to a specific page. So let's say Cave Creek is a city here in Arizona. So let's say I'm trying to target Cave Creek or Plummer Cave Creek, and I have a Serp Tech page that is ranked number 8 or number 9. What I'll do is I'll build a YouTube video that is my exact term. So I'll make the title of the YouTube video Plummer Cave Creek, add in that description. Then I'll post a link to that specific city page. Underneath it, I'll post my schema data. And I just create fake schema data, but I'll post that information underneath the link. And then for the tags for the YouTube video, I'll usually put in 5 to 6 tags, most of them general, and then I'll add in my exact keyword last. So Plummer Cave Creek or Plummer Cave Creek, Arizona. I then take that video URL link and I send a send wire blast to it, and I'll buy a bunch of cheaper PBN links. So there's some packages where you can get like 25 PBN links for 10 bucks, right? They're cheap. They're not the type of links you want to send to your money site. But if you take those links and you send them to the video, it juices up the video. And from the test that I've done, just building one YouTube video per page, each of the pages that I had a YouTube video built for jumped between, if they were first page, they would usually either jump right up to number 1 or within the top 3. And these are for large cities. So I would definitely suggest implementing YouTube. If you don't have a video creator, I think you could go on Fiverr and get someone to make one for you for like $5. Just make it super generic, because most of the time the video itself won't rank, but the juice that passes to that specific city page is what you're looking for. So I would go, and you could probably look at Video Maker FX, maybe get one for like 10, 15 bucks. Make it specific to your niche, to that city. Put in a call tracking number. That's what I did with the video that I made, is I did put in a call tracking number. And I actually got 3 phone calls from the video that I made over a 2-month period. But then I would hit them with the SendWire Blast, and I'd hit the video with the PBN links, and just wait about 2 weeks. So as for what I would suggest doing now, again, is go out, contact some of your dead prospects first, see if they're interested in the pay upfront option for the year. I'm doing that right now with, as I told you, the 3. I reached out to another client that we had worked with in the past, and they got just huge, and their expectations really weren't what we needed them to be for what they were willing to pay. But I had a Serp Tech site in his niche. I reached out to him, and we're currently negotiating a $15,000 sale. He wants to pay for 2 years upfront at $7,500 a year. So and that is a client I never thought I would work with again. And the same thing, was, hey, if I sell this to you, you got to hire somebody else to maintain and do the SEO. Said, no problem. You're already ranked for what we want to rank for. If we need to, hire someone for a couple $100 a month to maintain it, I'm good with that. So I'll be meeting with him in about 2 weeks. Now, interestingly enough, the client that I sold the $6,500 site to was in a sub-niche of his main niche. And when he saw what I was able to do, now granted, he doesn't know it's Serp Tech and he doesn't know all the SEO stuff I did. All he sees is all the rankings. In this specific niche, we ranked number 1 through 10. Every city, every keyword, 1 through 10, first page. He called me up about a week ago, and he told me, he's like, listen, I was so impressed with what you did, I reached out to about 80 of my colleagues in the other 50 states. The niche that the specific client is in is a national niche, quite large. And he said, if you can build these sites, 1 in each state, I have 80 clients who are willing to come on board right away, with another 200 that we are reaching out to. And he wants to partner with me on these sites because he has the infrastructure, he has the call center, and he has the corporate trainers. Now, we did the profit projections for what the first year's profits would be if just those 80 clients signed up, not the extra hundreds, just the initial 80 who have already said, yes, if your guy can get us a site ranked, here's what we'll pay him. We're looking at $3.7 million a year. All I have to do is build Serp Tech sites in all 50 states. And I already have 80 clients signed up. So, and the interesting thing with that is they are all interested in signing up because I offered the same pay for the year up front, get 50% off. And at 50% off, our profit projections are 3.7 million. So keep your mind open to partnerships with these clients. If you're selling a SerpTech site to a client in your state, there's a real good chance that they either know multiple other business owners in their state or other states. And I would ask them, say, hey, you know, I'm gonna give you this site instead of 12,000 a year. I'm giving it to you for 6,000. However, if you know you're taking, let's say, city A and B, and you still have C, D, E, F cities available, say if you would be willing to send out an email to your associates or colleagues in these other cities, if you know anyone, I'll give you an extra $300 off your bill for each person that signs up. And now you have your clients selling your sites for you, and they're selling them in a state of excitement. They just got a great deal. They're seeing themselves ranked. They're excited. So when they reach out to their friends, they're going to have that excitement in what they say, which is exactly what my client just did. So yes, I took a hit on this site because I only made $6,500 on it. But because I was willing to take that hit and only make $6,500, I'm now looking at making $3.7 million off of just this one niche for 2018. It was worth the initial loss. So that's pretty much what I have to say on that. I'd like to answer questions while I can, Herc, if we still have time.
Yeah, do you have your chat box open? Can you see the questions over there?
Opening it right now.
I can just read some out for you. Ray asked, so with your YouTube video strategy, your linking strategy, he's basically asking, are you embedding the video on the page you want to rank for as well, or just linking out to that page from the YouTube description?
No, I'm not embedding it simply because I'm not entirely sure how Jason's indexer works. So I didn't want to risk putting a video on the page itself. So I'm just linking to the page from the video.
Even easier.
Yes. Also, I just saw this. Yes, my business model is I do not do affiliate or pay per lead. I'm straight pay per rank leasing model.
And just go ahead and there's like lots of questions coming in if you want to grab them and answer them.
I'm going over them right. I already answered a lot of these, so I'm just trying to find one I haven't answered. No, the SSL certificates do not come with the Namecheap domains. I'm using Supremacy hosting. And Supremacy hosting gives you the SSL certificates. Are those Conquer PVNs? It's a mix. I do have a couple providers that I have on Conquer that I really like. I also have my own PBN network, so I'll use that. And then I have other PBN providers that I've established relationship with who are not on Conquer. But I would, if you're just starting out and you're trying to find some good providers, yes, I would go to Conquer. Herc, do you still have PBNs?
Yeah, I have lots.
Or contact Herc. Herc's PBNs are just fucking insane.
No, I'm not actually renting. It was like it was a business that we started getting into early, where I was like renting out on my PBNs, but I don't advertise it or anything anymore. I maybe will get back into that, but for the time being, I don't really. I don't want the business. I'm too busy with software development and shit like that to get into the PBN rental game. I know Matt Diggity's a really good link supplier. Actually, speaking about that, we are gonna have a huge link supplier coming for this purpose for you guys to be able to rent links. So that deal's being worked out from a really, really great guy, a really, really credible guy. So that's actually coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So you guys will have a really good, reputable place to buy PBN links from pretty soon.
Oh, here's a question I want to answer. Noreen asked, is he just selling the site, or is he also overlaying the client side on it? What I've done with the 9,000 sale for both sites is when he purchased the sites, he also purchased 1 year of overlay. And then for every month after that, if he wants to continue overlaying his site, we worked out a deal where I'm going to charge him $25 a month per site for the overlay. and I am overlaying one site of his over the entire Serp Tech build. Oh, and the other thing too is hosting. So the other thing I included was hosting, because I built these sites on the Supremacy hosting platform. So I also gave him 1 year of hosting included. So he got the sites, he got 1 year of overlay on both sites, and he got 1 year of hosting with both sites. And that just makes it easier for everybody. Dominic, that was funny. Okay, do you buy the PVM links from Conquer as well? Yes. No, Kevin, I have not looked into Flippa yet, but I am actually going to be looking into that and testing that out over the next month, probably in December. Let's see, so are these building social? I already answered that.
Let me just quickly see, Jason. I know you're still on, and I'm not sure it's late for you. So if you have, if you want to present, like I think you had some stuff you wanted to get on. So maybe I'll toss it over to Jason if you want to come on.
Yeah, cool, man. No problem.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then if Jeremiah and Nat, if you guys, if you gotta go, it's cool. If you want to hang around, we'll do a bit of a Q&A. We only have a few, like 40 minutes tops left, so let's let Jason go, and then we'll go into a Q&A if we have time. Go ahead there, Jason, anytime you're ready. Do you want the screen, by the way?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, 1 second. There you go.
All right, let me just figure this out. Which screen is it? This one, that one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Okay, all right, guys. Just give me a 1 in the chat box if you can see my screen. And are you seeing AdWords? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see for sure.
So before I even start, Jeremiah and Nat just dropped the mic in it. It's like, you know, an initial £1,000 investment that's just kind of skyrocketed. Wow, all I can say is wow. Congrats, guys, congrats. Right, I just want to touch on a few things, really. Not sure I can top what we've just heard, but I'll try. So in the week, I did drop another golden nugget, and some of you may have not seen it. Again, we've touched on it today in terms of traffic, in terms of traffic to the sites, and also in terms of the keyword research. And what I kind of highlighted was a way how I was grabbing the keywords which are potentially driving traffic to competitor sites. So if you've got a Gmail account, more than likely you can enable an AdWords account as well. Now, with AdWords, there's a tool called the Keyword Planner, which I'm sure you've probably all heard of. Now, the actual format of the AdWords platform has changed. So when you log in, what you need to do is go here. And then what you need to do is go to Keyword Planner. Okay, so what I'm about to show you, you can use it for whether it's local, whether it's an affiliate site, whenever you like, basically. And it's very simple. Always start with the end result in mind. So, for example, if I was going to build a site, I wouldn't build a site and think about how I'm going to monetize it. I'd think about the offer first. So, for example, I'd go out, find an affiliate offer, then build out a site around it. Always do that, yeah? Now, the thing is this, what you need to do is this. Grab the search URLs from some of the competitors that are ranking for whatever the search is. And then what you need to do, just type the URL And can you see this one here? It says your landing page. So let me just grab my notepad. Okay. So at the moment I'm looking for baby stuff because we're expecting another little one. And at the time I was looking for Tommy Tippy products, so I was looking for bottles, stuff like that. So I went in, and in the search term that I was searching for, I found a few affiliate sites. So what you do is grab the URL, stick it in here, which is your landing page, scroll down, get ideas. Okay, so now what you've got now is the potential keyword list that you could use for your search sites. So as you can see, these are some of the keywords: baby steam sterilizer, baby feeding bottles, nappy disposal system, baby drinking cup. But look, if you go to the ad group ideas, it will also give you the potential categories as well. Now look at this. Okay, so sterilizing baby, baby cup, baby bottles, nappy, sanogenic refill, tippy refill. Can you see what I'm trying to get at here? So not only can you find the keywords based on the site that I found, or potential keywords at the site that I found, but I can also define the categories, and then I can literally just build out a site for that specific purpose. So let me give you another example. Okay, so I was looking, I'm into the fitness thing at the moment, training a lot, and I came across, this was a first page result. I think it was number 9 or 10, but it was for Thai ball. All you need to do, grab the URL, copy it, go to AdWords, let's go to the keyword planner, let's go back one. Again, drop the URL in, snap the keywords. It's just booting up now. So if I go to keyword ideas, come on, catch up. Okay, so as you can see, these are some of the keywords which that site is particularly targeting. So, you know, I wouldn't have known to target for Jackie Warner DVD, or I wouldn't have known to target for Steps DVDs fitness, you know, and I can actually see the search volume here as well. So let's see if we can find some juicy ones. Let's have a look. Right, so all right, let's have a look at this one. It's slightly skewed a bit, but Body Beast DVD, I've never even heard of that, to be honest. But look, it's got 100 to 1,000 potential searches a month. So can you see what I'm trying to say in terms of how you could potentially use the AdWords keyword tool to kind of define your keyword research? Does that make sense? Just give me a one in the chat box if that does.
Yeah, and you guys can actually download these lists too, right at the top right kind of the screen. You can see the download button, and that'll download the keywords into the groups for you. And so you have your categories and your keywords within your categories on one spreadsheet right there as well.
Okay. So I've got a question here. Repeat the last thing said. What are you referring to, Sherman? The audience. Yes, Dominic, you do get a more concise results if you have a paid account. The tip for that is this: what you can do, go in, create a campaign, but create a campaign with the possibility of never getting the ads shown. So, you know, a bid that's too low, but obviously it's still an active campaign. that in theory should allow you to get the sort of more in-depth functionality in terms of being able to really drill down in terms of the actual monthly searches.
I like to think of those ranges too as like enough information. Like, do you guys really need to know whether it's 100, 300, 800? You know what I mean? Do you really need to know that much information? I mean, it's not going to change what you're going after. Like, if you don't like keywords with 80 searches a month, but you like them with 120, that just really doesn't matter. Yeah, like Sherman's saying, ballpark works, guys. A 10K to 100K keyword. Just go after it if you want to. Like, the sweet range is going to be the 100 to 1,000. Those are the easier ones to rank for. But honestly, guys, like, if Jason's suggestion, for whatever reason doesn't work for you guys, the ranges are really honestly more than enough data to just get you started, because you're not going after one keyword, right? You're going after hundreds, and you need to always keep in mind what you're doing, right? What am I doing this for? Exactly. And then that doesn't matter, yeah.
I mean, if you want to really get anal, let me just go back. I'm just going to take this keyword. Let's go back. Put the keyword in from the initial stuff that you got and drill down. But like I said, you just want a ballpark figure, really. You don't really need to go that far. Okay, right, now I've kind of held back from showing real sites because the walls have ears, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of highlight a demo site that was built using Serp Tech. No links, no anything, basically, just decent keyword research. And I just want to show you, or give you an overview of how this site's actually performing. Now, silly me, in my quest for happiness, I've been faffing about with my server and crashed it, but obviously the Serp results are still there. Let me just bring this over. Okay, let's just bring this over. Okay. Can you see this, guys? Just give me a one if you can see that. It should be site:/sidewalkhealth.pro. Okay, so this is a small test site. I do some crazy stuff just to see how far we can push the boundaries. So I'm going to show you another site after this one, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So, plastic surgery, very competitive, very lucrative niche. You'll always find sort of pay-per-call offers through sort of organisations like Ring Partner, etc. That will pay you out, between $120 to $300 a lead. Now, this is a very small test site. As you can see, we've got 837 results. Google actually lies to you here. Actually, I'm going to show you why in a bit. Now, so this one actually targets, like I said, the plastic surgery niche, and just wanted to go through some of the results that we've got. Now, what we've done, I haven't gone for just the usual terms. I've gone for the actual medical terms and also the sort of jargonistic terms. So forgive the pun. So, for example, boob job, stuff like that. And those are actual real words that people will actually use. So let's have a look at some of these. Right. Let's see the results. Okay, so 1,520 results, position 1. As you can see, I'm signed out. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, 4,700 results, position 1. Okay, right, Hollywood reduction mammoplasty. I'm not even going to take the surgeon, I'm just going to take the mammoplasty. Okay, so 45,100 results, position 1. Now that's pretty crazy. Do you think if I was to show a potential client, a site that's completely dominating the SERPs, even if it's just for the vanity reason, you think they wouldn't snap this off your hands? they'll bite your hands off. So what I'm saying is, it's definitely an easy sell when you got results like this, yeah. And I think, you know, Jeremiah's kind of proven that in terms of the revenue he's currently generating from his sites. Let me do another one. Now, this site, again, this is a test site. Now, Google lies to you. So on some days I'll search and it says it's got 300, but I actually know that this has 55,700 indexed. Now again, what I'm not advocating is for you to go out and build a site that's 55,700 URLs. This was done for testing purposes, just to see how far we can actually push it. And again, this is a law site, and this is actually based in Australia. So let me just grab some of the keywords, see what we've got. Okay, 2,590 results, position 1. That's also one of my sites as well. Let's have another one. Okay, that site didn't, oh, it did. So this one's my site, that's my site. Then we've got 2 more, and then we've got another 2 from the patent law side. Let's go into the site a bit more. Let's do lawyer costs. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so we've got sorry, this is actually one of my sites as well. This is the site in question. Wow, we've got 2,160 results. Let's go into the site a bit more. Okay. Slightly embarrassing. This is another one of my sites, and then obviously we've got the site in question there. 268 results, not much. Let's do one more. Let's try this one. Okay, so we've got 931. We've got position 1 again. So, like I said, you know, the world's your oyster. I think, you know, if you can show a client, you know, how you can potentially dominate search results, I'm sure they will snap your hands off. In terms of traffic, as Jeremiah's testimony provided a good testimonial that, you know, you add additional SEO to the sites, and, you know, again, the world is your oyster. Now, there is a course, not that I'm advocating you to go out and buy it, but even if you just saw a snippet of it, which Hurricane Todd promoted some time ago, called Domination Near Me, that's a very good course in terms of understanding the sort of local intent. I'm not advocating that you go and actually purchase the course, but what I'm saying is that, you know, focusing on local search terms, adding near me as a modifier, those types of things can actually bring in a lot of traffic. Okay, so look, guys, what I want to do, although we've got SerpTech, we know it works, we know it works absolutely brilliant, we know that if we add you know, additional SEO, that, you know, you can take it where you need to take it. What we're trying to do is to keep the process evolving. Now, what I'm going to suggest is this. I can come up with ideas on how we can tweak and make it better, but I think it's better to come from you guys. So what I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that every idea you come up we could actually implement, but what we could do is implement some of the best ideas, and then at least then we have almost like a schedule of potential updates over a period of time. So say, for example, say if we were updating it every 2 months, then you know within 2 months that this feature is going to be here, next 2 months that another feature is going to be there. Do you know what I mean? So we just can actually build out a cycle and just keep the process evolving. You know, at the end of the day, we want to keep this an evergreen product. You know, this will never be sold publicly in terms of, you know, going out and, you know, literally trying to saturate the market. You know, we have targets in terms of what we want to reach in terms of potential sales, and this is it. We just want to keep the tool moving, keep it evergreen, and keep it growing. So what we'll do is I'll probably set up probably a document in Facebook or some kind of means to capture your ideas, and then obviously we can probably translate that into a schedule of updates that we can actually add to SerpTech. How does that sound? Just give me a 1 if that sounds great. Give me a 2 if you don't care. Cool. Nice one. Okay, so that's exactly what we'll do, and then obviously we keep it moving, keep it trucking, and just keep on cashing in those checks. Okay, that's pretty much it from me. Back to Jeremiah if he's still around, or back to her, do some Q&A.
Yeah, we can do a bit of Q&A here. We got another, say, 20 minutes before we're at the 2-hour mark. I saw one question.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Robert was asking, how are you getting all those tech keywords? And he kind of already showed it, and I just wanted to like restate it, guys. All you have to do to get tech keywords like for like plastic surgery and stuff is go take your main keyword that you're trying to rank for and do a search for it in Google. Now take the top ranking site, get the URL of the site, go to Keyword Planner tool and put in the URL of that site, okay? And it's going to suggest all the keywords that are relevant to that site and organize them by groups for you, which is the categories that you guys are looking for. So it's a super easy and quick way to use ranking sites with your seed keywords to give you not only the keywords that you need to rank for and stuff that you can't think of on your own, but also how to categorize properly if you want to build categories instead of by location, but by like a different category. So it's really easy to do. And then from there, take any keyword and just run the keyword right back through the keyword tool to expand on that list. And honestly, guys, doing that that methodology, that method right there, it's literally an unending supply of keywords. Like you could do that, take your main seed keyword, find a URL, get a whole bunch of keywords, go grab the next URL, get a whole bunch more keywords, grab the next URL, get a whole bunch more keywords, and each one of those individual keywords you run back through the tool and get more keywords and more keywords and more keywords. Do you guys see where I'm going with that? Like it's literally within probably 20 minutes, you guys could probably build a list of like multiple thousands of keywords that that is targeted to the sites that you're building, right? So it's the process that you guys need to understand there. And if you kind of missed it, and I know I'm not displaying it right now, Jason is, just go back and rewatch this webinar on how he does it, because it's just such an easy way to grab so many keywords. How many keywords are you using for one site? We've covered that quite a bit, Errol, in other webinars. It depends on the size of the site, right? It depends on a lot of things. How many categories do you want to go after? What type? So it's dependent on the site, really. Typically, I was like when I was teaching my keyword research guys, like for the quick local builds, I was pulling the whole list of 700, taking like the top. I don't even remember anymore because I haven't built site in so long. But I was taking the top 20 or 30 keywords for my main keywords, taking the next 100 or so for my tags, and then all the rest would go into my images for variants inside of the images. Yeah, James says don't pay for spy food. This technique's free. Rick, how do you manage to get thousands of keywords in one site? That must be a massive amount of pages. It's Google. Google reads the URL. Google knows everything about these sites, so it'll suggest you like 700, but then to expand that list to 1,000, take the same keyword to the next URL because it's obviously in the same niche. It's the same relevance. Get a whole another list of keywords, and then, like I said, take each individual keyword that Google is suggesting based on that website and rerun that keyword to expand on that list, and you'll end up with thousands. Today's webinar is worth more than all the JV Zoo launches each day. That's good.
That's hilarious.
Eric, do you mind if I mention something real quick on niches?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So I get a lot of PMs and comments, specifically asking, hey, what niches are you in, and what should I target? And even though I'm not going to disclose what my personal niches are, one thing that I would suggest is, one, stay away from the quote-unquote SEO niches, the ones that you see in all those JV launches or that you've seen on a lot of the other training. And two is look around your daily life, okay? What are things that you personally purchase? What are things that you personally use? I will give you an example. This is a niche. I'm in it in Arizona and California, so please don't take those two states. But there is a, I guess you could kind of call it a beauty service that I use, and I get it, 3 to 4 times a month, which is I do a laser facial, like a laser micro peel. And I get that because I have no desire to age, so I was looking into it, and I'm paying for each time I go in to get this laser facial, I pay $4.95, not $4.95, $495. And I was talking with the proprietor of the business, and we were talking about marketing. And I was like, yeah, I could probably get you ranked. Do you mind if I ask what your profit margins are? And she got real quiet, like embarrassed quiet, and her cheeks started to flush, which got me curious. So I looked into it. It is a 95% net profit. So it costs them about $15 per peel or per laser facial treatment, and they're charging $500 per treatment. So after I finished shitting myself, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and launch this. And I asked her, well, I'm a loyal client. I come in 4 times a month, 3 times if I'm busy. What's your loyalty rating off of new clients? And she told me, well, it's usually about between 4 to 6 out of every new client. They stay on loyally for usually a year or 2, and each client will come in sometime, some will come in once a month, some will come in 2 to 3 times a month. So I asked her, I was like, okay, well, if I build out this site, would you be willing to split the net profit margin with me, where for each client that I bring you, I will get $250 per month, or I'm sorry, $250 per treatment? And she just looked at me and laughed and said, absolutely. It's like, it's all profit anyways. So I would suggest looking into those hard, kind of obscure niches that you may not think have high profit margins, and do your research. It literally took 5 minutes doing some quick Google searches to figure out how much the machines cost, because usually the machines cost between $3,500 to $6,000 as their upfront investment, and then their cost per treatment is usually around $15. And each provider will charge differently. There's providers here that'll charge $300 per treatment. The place that I could go to, it's a local spa, so you get a lot of other stuff, so they can charge more. But that's one example. The second example is a friend of mine brought a business to my attention, a business that I'm very familiar with. It's in the luxury goods market, and I had always presumed that the net profit margins were low. That was a huge, huge mistake on my part, because he charges $5,000 to $7,000 per item. His net profit on each item, if he's selling it for $5,000, his net profit is usually about $400 to $4,200. And this is a specific item that I've purchased since I was in my teens. So when I realized what those profit margins were, I did the exact same thing with him. I know, the majority of my business model, I've said, is pay per lease. When the profit margins are that ridiculous, I will, and I know the person, it's not like I have to worry, are they going to cut me a check or not if I agree to partner with them. I agreed to partner with him on this one, and I'm building out a national setup, so I'm going to build a site for each state, because he services the whole country, and he's going to give me $1,500 per sale plus 10% equity in his company. So that's another way, and that's something that I'm looking into right now, is actually using SerpTech to get equitable interest in companies. And over the next year, so in 2018, in my business goals, I don't know if you guys write down business goals for what you want to do for the year. I would suggest doing so if you don't. But I would like to use SerpTech to get equitable interest in 30 companies. Okay, just think about what kind of portfolio that would provide. Most people are, investing in the stock market and they're trying to buy up stocks. Well, if you can build out a SerpTech site that costs you near nothing, utilize your skills to rank, and then use that SerpTech site to gain an equitable interest, and I'm getting equitable interest from the gross profits, not from the net. So I'm going to get paid before their expenses are taken out. So, get a little creative with how you want to do. Yeah, that's not it at all.
That is so it.
I'll explain what I'm showing here in a second. Okay. I'm pretty sure most people get it already, but go.
Okay. Yeah, that is not at all what I get done. But I would look into different business models, and I would analyze some of the things that you take for granted, niches that you may not have really thought of that are small, or in your opinion were small, and spend an hour a day for the next week just doing Google research. What is the upfront cost for these services? What are the profit margins on these services? I've done that over the past week, and because I purchase things in the luxury goods market, so I specifically looked in a lot of those type of niches, and I have found 6 in the past week where I know how much I'm paying for them, and their profit margins are like 80% net profit. It's disgusting. And these are niches I would have never thought to build a SerpTech site in. And these people, they make so much profit that when you ask them for higher amounts of money, they don't even think twice about it. Because if they're selling a product for $5,000 and their profit is $4,000, and you're saying, hey, give me $1,000 of that, they're still making a $3,000 profit. They don't blink twice at it. So do a little analysis of your own life and the services or products that you purchase, and start doing research, and I think you guys would be extremely surprised at what you find when it comes to profit margins.
The other thing to think about in that as well is that if these are services and products that you're personally buying in your life, that means you're already dealing with people that are in that business, which is actually a great way to get into like a sales conversation with people. Like, say you're at, I don't go to spas or whatever, but like say my wife, for instance, she goes and gets all kinds of weird things like microblading and I don't know what.
Oh, I love microblading. You guys are so like last year.
Threading. Well, the point here, guys, don't lose the point. All these services or whatever that she's out there getting, when she's getting them, obviously they're having chats, right? She's chatting with the people performing these services, right? She could easily mention, oh, this is what I do. I actually rank companies like yours all over the first page of Google. Like, remember that if these are things you're using and getting done in your life or your wife or someone, you're already talking to people. Just mix it into the conversation. You don't have to go right into a sale, right? Just drop it casually, be easy. It's up to you. But that's a good way to have a niche. Like what Jeremiah said, number one, it's a good way to do niche discovery. Look at your own life, okay, and the things that you're using or that your spouses are using, okay, for niche discovery. Number two, remember that when you're discovering those things, that you're already in contact with the people that would buy your services, right? And then you can also barter. There's all kinds of deals you could do. Just be creative.
Man, I just did a deal with a personal trainer, and I've just started homeschooling my daughter, and something that's hard in homeschooling, especially with a kid that doesn't like group activities, is you know, so this personal trainer is just like, oh my God, can you help me? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all over that. You know, I will help you. I will barter. This is tax-free money. You know, like you help my daughter and do personal training with my daughter, and I will help you, and I will rank you all over the place. And the best thing about bartering is it's tax-free money. The, you know, revenue doesn't see any of it, and screw them. And I love that. So, you know, things like holidays, I've used like my lawyer shit, you know, stuff like that, you know, is worth gold, you know. And it's really funny that Jeremiah was mentioning laser sort of refacials and stuff like that. Is my sister worked in that, and her husband's a fetal medicine specialist, and labioplasty is probably a keyword that not many people would think of using or checking out, but that's a nice one.
I'm actually in that niche.
You're in labioplasty? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Great profit margins, low competition.
Yeah, and highly embarrassing, so people don't like sort of speaking about it, but there you go. Oh,
guys, what I'll show you is what you guys saw me doing searches here. One thing I know I for sure, like what Jeremiah was saying, like the whole beauty niche is built on huge margins, like massive, massive margins. So there's a lot of money to be made in there, but there's a lot of whatever these beauty services are called. Most of us, well, especially men, are probably not going to know what these things are. But if you want to start looking those up, I mean, those searches that I did, you know, like 2017 top beauty trends, right? Just start going down the rabbit hole. Google's your friend, right? And you're going to start getting ideas. You know, beauty trends to try in 2017. You're going to start getting ideas of niches that you could get into, or services that spas offer, or beauty salons or whatever, or spas. You could even search it like that, like top spa services. You know what I mean? And start getting niche ideas like that. Okay, and then the other one. Just one sec, Natalie. Let me finish this idea. The last one here, guys, and this is going to be a really good one to support traffic, is celebrities. The traffic behind certain celebrity people is absolutely massive. So like this, for instance, I typed in, I believe the search was most popular celebrity spa treatments, and I came to this one. Obviously, it's Kim Kardashian, one of the biggest celebrities in the world. Vampire facelift, like who knew that was actually a thing, right? But the celebrity amount of traffic that comes behind this, and you can borrow that as well in your keyword research, will really, really help you guys with a lot of traffic and stuff like caviar body treatment, shit like that. So just use Google, use your brain, look at trends. Trends is always a really, really good one. Blood-sucking leech therapy, okay? These services are being offered. There's huge margins. There's huge money to be made. So just make sure you guys are thinking outside the box when you're doing your research. Sorry, Nat, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, when you mentioned microblading, type in something like microblading and chemotherapy. And I know that sounds really horrible, but it's not actually. My mum lost all her hair when she was going through chemo, and so microblading is a really important thing for people who have lost their hair in terms of having eyebrows and stuff. So, you know, dig down deep, third level, you know, keep going through it. It's important for the people, and it's not mercenary, because, you know, people that are going through this really appreciate this kind of information and getting them to a great supplier. So find a bloody good supplier. Find someone who's excellent, and then kind of, you know, go from there. So yeah, sorry for interrupting.
Not a problem. Here's another level deeper, guys. You could service the companies offering the service, or you could service the company itself, meaning, okay, you could go out there and build a site for people who have a business in microblading and get them new clients, but you could also service the people who service the companies. So like things like, I don't know if microblading is a good one because I don't know what the equipment costs, but you can look up what are the equipments involved in providing that service and become, like Nat said, like the distributor sort of thing, where you build a site to sell the goods and the equipment that these companies are using to sell to all these spas. And that's probably a lot more expensive and a lot better. Microblading is probably not really a good one because it's $125. But if, like, for instance, laser hair,
and also
laser,
training for.
Sorry?
Training for microblading, how to train to be a provider is another one.
There's all kinds of ways to look at a niche and enter that niche. It doesn't have to be servicing the sale of the service. It can be servicing the company that supplies it, like selling the equipment, the training, the education. There's all kinds of ways, and this is where you really have to start opening up your mind and thinking a little bit differently than probably what you've been taught in the past to do. So just make sure you guys are constantly pushing your own boundaries of how to look at a niche and start thinking like that. Like, you know, I could sell microblading services, or I could sell microblading equipment to people that perform the services, or I could sell the training, all that shit. So just make sure you guys are thinking really nice and deep.
Herc, do you mind if I comment on that real quick?
Yeah, this will be the last one just because we are at the 2-hour mark, but go ahead.
Yeah, I would, if you're going to look into the actual services providing the equipment, I would look at companies that are doing between 500 million a year and 1.5 billion a year. I was approached about 2 months ago by a client that I was doing SEO for, non-Serp Tech, but we're moving into building him a Serp Tech site right now. And when he saw what I was able to do with Serp Tech, he is a reseller of this particular product, and in his territory is Arizona. When he saw what it was, he called me up, and he's like, hey, I just want to let you know that XXX is on the phone with us. He is the CEO of the main parent corporation. And we spent about 2 hours on the phone, and I went through a bunch of different Serp Tech sites with them. This particular tool, they sell, it's a heavy equipment type tool, I'll just say that. And they usually sell between 300 and 700,000 per unit used, and it's over $1 million new. And even though we're not doing anything right now for 2018, February of 2018 is when they want to bring me on, and they want me to build Serp Tech sites in all 50 states. And they are, right now, we're still negotiating, but they've offered me 11% per unit sold. And this company is currently doing 1.2 billion a year. So think, yes, you know, as we just said, niche down, go small, but you could also go the other way, which is go really, really freaking big, and look at these companies doing high 7-figure and 8 figures per year. Look at their equipment, build a test site. You know, so for instance, take the state that you're in, target the equipment level keywords, then approach these large companies. So you can go in either direction. Either direction will work, but Serp Tech will provide that ground platform for you to be able to very, very quickly go in and get these types of contracts and pique their interest. So, Herc, I'm actually really happy you brought up selling the equipment, because that is definitely something people should be doing.
Yeah, here's another way to do it, guys. Go into sites like Amazon or Google, like you just saw me searching, and look for like what is the spa equipment that people are using, and then organize the results by price. And then these are just methodologies, right? These are just ways to like start looking at things and be like, all right, what should I put? What's profitable? Where can I start building my sites that most people like? Massage tables. Be a seller of massage tables. That's probably not a great one. Maybe it is. Who knows? But you guys need to start looking for like expensive shit. Stuff with high resale value, like Jeremiah said, stuff with companies who are doing millions and millions of dollars. Start thinking like that as well, not just, you know, plumber, you know, heating and venting and HVAC, stuff like that. You really need to use Google. You really need to use your brain and just push that envelope. All right, guys, that's the 2-hour mark there. So thanks, Jeremiah, Natalie, and Jason for coming on. Given lots of great information there, lots of new ways to think about things. So hopefully you guys had a good Webby. I will post this replay. Natalie, you said you showed something you didn't mean to show, so you'll probably I'll just go in and edit it. Anytime I edit though, guys, it does take me a lot longer to post a replay. So it'll be up by tomorrow night. I'll make sure I edit that out for you, Nat. All right, guys. We will see you next Wednesday, I guess. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
See you folks. Night.